Hey guys, it's Ian, and we're back here with another fun tutorial. This is probably going to be a short little mini series within the flower series, just because there's a bunch of cool stuff to show. But what I'm going to be showing you guys is sort of how to do these like unrolling, unfurling effects. And there's a lot of different ways you can use it. Like you can have it, like in this example here, you can have it sort of unroll like around an object, or you can have it like be like a carpet of flowers that's like spreading and unrolling. You can do it within objects like this banana thing. And you don't have to use it for flowers either. You can use it for anything you want. So actually, if you're ever familiar with that really famous Us by Night title sequence that I think Simon Holmdahl made, this is exactly the same principle as that. So it's really cool. And I'm going to show you guys how to use it or how to make it using a really, really great plugin called Simple Tree. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Simple Tree, I highly, highly recommend that you check it out. So you can find it on Gumroad here. Here's the website here. I'll post it in my description too. But I don't use a whole lot of plugins for Houdini just because you don't really need a whole lot of plugins mostly. And actually, if you're smart enough, you could build something like this yourself. But I prefer to use tools that are made, that work really well sometimes. And this one is really robust. It does a ton of stuff. It allows you to make and design your own plants, your own trees. You can then animate them. You can make them grow. You can make them grow on and off. Have like custom wind. It's really, really robust. It's awesome. But the cool thing is you can use it for other stuff that's not for plants. Like I'm going to show you here. You can use it to create these like unrolling effects. If you're going to be following along in the future for a lot of the plant stuff I do, this is a plugin that I use a lot. So if you're thinking about using Houdini for like plant growth and like abstract growth and stuff like that, and you're kind of a beginner or intermediate level, or even if you're advanced, I really, really cannot say enough good things about this plugin. It's not that expensive, and it's just like so useful, especially if you're trying to do plant stuff. So highly recommend it. If you're following along in this tutorial, you'll need this plugin basically. There are ways to do it without it, of course. So if you want to learn how to do this, like actually make this type of tool yourself, this guy, Mirati Omar on Vimeo, has a couple of free tutorials here on how to do this sort of like unrolling effect, how to build it yourself. But I will say it's very advanced. It's a lot of code. It's a lot of like, you need to know like matrix transforms, and I followed along. I could barely follow along when I was a beginner. So if you're trying to learn this yourself, definitely recommend this thing. But fair warning, it's pretty tough to understand and follow along sometimes if you're not a really advanced user. So, and something I'm trying to do with my tutorials here is I want to show you guys the easy way to do things, because there are so many tutorials for Houdini that show you like the hard way to do things, which, it's like, this is the correct way to do it or whatever. But fuck that. I'm trying to show like, how can you use Houdini in like to make really cool stuff that looks advanced in like a really simple, easy way. So I highly recommend getting Simple Tree, and I'll be making a lot of tutorials using Simple Tree going forward just because it's like so useful. Anyway, without further ado, let's get started here, and I'm going to show you guys how this works. So let's put down a geonode. Let's just call it rock. So first we're going to make a rock. And let's just do, let's put down a sphere, I guess. And we will, no, let's not do that. Let's go like this. We're going to do a little more, let's make it like a nice rock. So let's put down a box. We're going to put down an ISO offset, turn it into a cloud. We'll scatter some points inside the cloud. We'll put down a Voronoi fracture like this, and this is the geometry. This is the points. Boom. Wait, nope. This is the geometry. That is the points. Cool. And then let's put down an exploded view like this, and we'll find one that looks kind of nice. Let's do, I don't know, just hit S on the keyboard and pick, how about this guy here? And we'll hit delete, and then come up here and go delete non-selected. And then what I want to do is hit match size. Put that in the middle, scale to fit, so it goes 1 to 1. And then what I want to do is, let's do a remesh, and let's just give this some more subdivisions here. And then we'll put down a mountain and kind of mess it up a little more. Let's do a smaller element or a bigger element size maybe. I don't know, let's try sparse convolution. Maybe not. Maybe let's go back. Alligator? No. Simplex. Seems fine. Element size. Make it larger, amplitude, smaller. I don't know, just kind of mess around with it a little bit to try and give yourself a little bit more of like a rock shape. Something like that. Maybe we put down another mountain. So this one, maybe we make this element size larger and the amplitude a little bit bigger. Like just that. Maybe instead of 0 center, we do positive? No. God. Just kind of offset it a bit. And then this one, we can use a smaller mountain, smaller size. Crap, what have I done? Centered there. Screw it. Let's just do like this one. Just this one here. That's fine. Make it kind of something like this. Make the element size really small. Maybe the amplitude, make that smaller too. I don't know, something like that. And then we'll put a texture on it. It'll look nice. Okay, and then let's just do UV unwrap. Give ourselves some UVs for the future when we texture this guy. Okay, cool. So we've got our basic rock here. Now what I want to do is let's make a shortest path. So we're going to design some lines around this thing. So let's put down a null. Call this out rock. Okay, cool. And then let's go like this. So let's make a group. Let's go group. Yeah, let's just do group, and we'll just call it start, like that. And then make it a point group. And I'll just come in here, and let's just go keep in bounding regions just so we can make this procedural. And hit enter on the keyboard and bring this over and just get like a few that are right there. Okay, that's our start group. And then let's go end, or sorry, let's put down a group expression. Okay, and we're going to call this one end. And then we'll use this little vex expression here. Let's make this points. Use this one that is 30% chance, and that just kind of picks randomly some points there. Okay, so we've got a start group and an end group. Now, let's put down a find shortest path node, which requires start points. So we'll use our start group, and end points. So we'll use our end group. And then what we want to do is change this from each start to any end to from each start to each end. And what that does is it basically draws lines from the start points to each of these ends here, which is pretty cool. And then I can let's put down a resample, and let's give ourselves our curve U attribute, and we can visualize that so you can kind of see, you can see it starting here and ending here. So this is a really nice way to make these sort of like organic shapes, but I don't think I want, let's try, how many segments do I have here? Let's kind of resample it a bit. Cool. Maybe do a long chord. I think that's more, gives you like a more even distribution. Something like that would be cool. Okay, great. So we've got this. Let's save this. Now, how can we make this unroll? So this is where Simple Tree comes in. So Simple Tree has some really nice tools, and like I said, I'll be making some tutorials later on how to use it really in depth. But if you type in STT, you can do a trunk maker, which is like, this is how you would start building a trunk, then you add branches or whatever, and it allows you to grow everything. But the other cool thing it allows you to do is, instead of starting with a trunk like this, you can start with your own curves. So if you do STT initialize curves, what that does is it allows you to draw any curve, and then it automatically converts it. And let's turn off visualize mesh. Basically, this will like convert it into a usable form that Simple Tree can use. Okay, and let's use STT grow, simple grow, and this is what allows you to animate it. And let me go back to frame 1 here. I don't want to, oops, let's reset there. So simple grow basically gives you this slider here where you can just animate it, and it like unrolls it for you. Isn't that sweet? So what we can do is we can animate this, make it unroll however we want, and then we can we can copy a bunch of instances of flowers or bananas or whatever the hell you want to the points, and then they'll stick to it and they'll look like they're unrolling across this rock. So the cool thing about this simple grow is it gives you a lot of options to make it look really organic. So right now you can see they're all sort of unrolling, but they're all facing upward in the Y direction. So you can adjust stuff like that. So first, in this growth, let's go adjust growth. And instead of random per branch, let's use noise. And then we can change the blend a bit. Maybe make the element size a little smaller. So this sort of like randomizes how fast they unroll. So at first they were all unrolling at the same speed, but now they're gonna be a little bit more like organically unrolling. That's cool. And of course you can, there's a lot of stuff you can play around with here. The growth blending, let's see what that does. So if you move it up and then try this, it's like they sort of unroll in like these bigger, wider, more broad features like this. See how this is like this huge piece, but if you go down, they sort of unroll like closer to the tip. They sort of stick closer, like in a little tighter formation. So I think I want, I don't know, maybe somewhere like halfway is kind of cool, roughly halfway. So you kind of get some that are broad, some that are smaller. Okay, now for the unfolding, you can see there's still all the little rolls are like facing upwards still. That's the unfolding tab. And that's the up vector. So right now, they're all using the y-axis as their up vector, which is why they're facing upwards. But you can use the curve normal, which essentially does it just like unrolls it as if it's peeling outwards. So you can see they're all, that's probably what we're gonna end up wanting, because we want it to look like it's unrolling around the rock. So that will work really well, I think. But you can also adjust it. Instead of random per branch, you can do noise again. So you can kind of like mess it up a little bit. So again, you can blend it with some noise to give it a little bit more randomness. And let's maybe make the element size a little smaller. Just noise it up. And of course you have this distance from root fall off too. So it's like the root down here is not going to get any of this noise, but the tips are going to get all of the noise. So I can always just adjust this, and it gives you like full control along the spline. And then the unfolding amount you can adjust too. So if I have an unfolding amount of 0, it doesn't actually unroll, and it's just basically going to just grow like this, as if you're just animating a line from 0 to 1. But if I have an unfolding amount of like 360, it like rolls a lot, or 720. It's like it's just like unrolling so much more. So I kind of don't like this big piece here. This one here is just kind of like happening too quickly. So maybe let's go back to our growth, and let's do the blend. Let's bring it back a bit. Maybe growth blending. Let's make it like, I don't know, just a little bit like this. And maybe the element size can be bigger. Let's see what that looks like. So that's kind of nice. Okay, and then you've also got these nice, you've got some delay effects you can add when you animate it. It's sort of like adding like a smoothing effects. But for now, let's just animate this. I don't know, let's get a nice one, something we feel is good. Let me go back, growth blending. Maybe I do want some of these bigger ones. And of course, if you want more resolution in your curves, you can come back up to the resample and you can bring this down to like 0.0 and it'll give it a lot more resolution there, or you can, bring it to 0.3. It'll give you less resolution, but I think I want what I had before. Okay, so let's go here. Let's start from this. Let's start from like this point right here, and then we'll go all the way to frame. Let's go to like 96 or 95, whatever, and let's bring this to 1. For some reason, this needs to cook. I don't know why. I guess it's a solver, so it's going to need to cook for a second. Okay, so we've got it here, and then maybe let's just come in here and make this. Oh, weird. Why? Oh, not the start frame. What am I doing? Global controls. I want this guy. I want this to be 1, and then let's go to the animation editor and let's just make this linear. Okay, so cool. Now it's a good idea, since this kind of needs to cache a lot, I would recommend that you, let's go back to frame 1, hit solver settings, resimulation, reset simulation. Let's put down a file cache. Just cache your curves. It'll help you. It will help you run faster here. So let's just call this curves, and then let's delete this and have it go to frame 96. Save to disk. Okay, so now we've got our cached curves running smoothly. You can see it runs in real time there. That's pretty great. And the nice thing is you can, of course, retime this with a retime node. So let's go 96 frames as our input. Let's bring this down to 0.3 in speed, and then make sure that you do subdivision. And then now you've got this like really nice slow unrolling effect, which is pretty cool. Okay, something else I didn't show you on how you can make this a little cooler is you can also add like wind and stuff. So before you go to the simple grow, let's go back to our initialized curves. Let's go STT, I think it's simple motion, STT wind, maybe it's wind modifier. Let's try that. So, okay, so there's a wind modifier and there's simple motion. Let's just do simple motion. So you just plug this in here, and then let's just hit play and see what happens. So it kind of gives you this basic motion here, but you can control it. And let's do, let's make the wind power like 2, but then make the speed really low. And then let's do like high frequency power. Let's make that like 10, I don't know. Let's do object instead of directional. You can kind of play around with stuff. You have the stiffness controls. You can make more like turbulence. Let's do like 10 for the turbulence power, but make the element size really small. And then the speed, let's make it like super 0, 1. Like this, element size, or 0, 0, 1. I don't know, I'm just messing around, see what I can do. It's like way fast. But you have a lot of controls is what I'm saying. You can make this sort of feel organic. Let's do introduce noise. Let's do 10. That's a lot. Maybe the wind power, bring it down to 1. High frequency power, 1 also. Let's do branch level time offset. Random phase. I don't know. I'm just like messing around with stuff here. Let's go 1 on the turbulence power. So you can give yourself, I don't know, make yourself some noise here. maybe do stiffness. I don't know. But basically you can, I probably won't end up doing this for this example, but I just wanted to show you that you can do wind, but then you can also have it grow afterwards. So same thing, it'll be like windy, and then it's growing, but then you also have this nice like flowy wind motion as well. It's not just like linear. So that's pretty cool. And honestly, you could use this as, instead of like copying stuff to it, you can just put down a STT mesh, tree mesher, plug this in, and it'll mesh it for you. So let's do a null here so we can see it. This is obviously like all fucked up, but let's do branches, I think we want, and we want this to be, where's the width? I guess that would be up in the initialized curves. You can take the width down 0.1. Well, anyway, all right, so maybe it's not super great for this example, but you could put a like a poly wire in here, and then make the wire radius like really small, and then you have this sort of organic looking. Why is this? Put down null so I can get rid of that weird effect there. I don't know why it's all white on the edges, but you can create this growing effect. And of course you have attributes, this simple grow. If you middle mouse click over it, it gives you, you've got your curve U attribute, you've got a grow attribute, you've got a P scale attribute. So if you just used your grow attribute, which goes from 0 to 1, you could retarget that and make that a width attribute so that it gets smaller at the tip. But for now, I'm just kind of giving you a basic overview of stuff. For now, let's go back to the curves that we have here. I'll go more in depth in this stuff in a later tutorial. I think I want this to be like 0.6. Make it just a little faster. Okay, and then what we can do is we can copy stuff to these points. So let's do that and see how many points we have here. Okay, cool. Let's do copy to points and put it in here. Make sure we check on pack and instance, and let's put down like let's just put down a box for now so you can see what's happening. Okay, it's like way too big, first of all. So let's just bring the uniform scale down so you can kind of see. Maybe even more. So right now they're all aligned, but you can kind of see as it grows, like if you go all the way down, they should disappear into nothing. So it's kind of hard to see, but if you zoom in really close to one of these curls, let's just like move up like here. Okay, so you can see at the tips of the curls, like right where they're starting, they're really small. So it's actually scaling everything up as they grow. So it's nice. It gives you, using this simple grow effect, automatically gives you that like P scale so that they get bigger towards the bottom and smaller towards the top. So something we can do, let's after this, we can put down a mops randomize. Oops, put that here. And we can randomize, let's randomize the orientation. So now they're not all the same. Let's do randomize uniform scale too. So we can do like a minimum value is like 3, maximum value there. So it gives it a little bit more, more variation there. And then maybe let's do up here, because we have a lot of points. Maybe we do like a fuse. Can we do that? Maybe that'll help. I think there's a lot of points that are like on top of one another. That's all messed up. So maybe actually something we could do, let's stop that. Something that might help, if we go back up here, let's get rid of this simple motion, turn that off. So if you go to the initialize curves and then we do an exploded view. So when you use resample sometimes, so look at that, there's like a million of these on top of one another. So I think I could probably fuse some of these together, maybe up here, maybe that would help. And then let's do initialize curves. Let's do, let's just reset it. Maybe I need to do it after this. Let's see if that works. Nope. Okay, so I figured it out. You need to put the fuse after the find shortest path, because the find shortest path is creating a lot of, like, you can't really see it, but each one of these little paths, sometimes there's like 3 or 4 of them on top of one another, and it's creating like tons and tons of points. So if you middle mouse click, we've got 26,000 points, but then we put a fuse down, it almost looks exactly the same, and we've got 1,700 points. Okay, then we can resample it, then we initialize curves, and then we can use the simple grow. So there'll be way, way fewer points now, which is better. So let's recache this here. Okay, so now we've got it recached again. It looks pretty much the same, but there's way fewer points, which is going to help us a lot. And we can do copy to points again. It's going to run a lot faster, and it looks like there's way less overlapping here. So before, when we had everything, yeah, see, before there was just a ton of stuff overlapping. Now you can actually see like the individual box. Okay, let's do mops randomize. Cool. So what we can do is we can, maybe let's bring the size of this up a little bit, 0.3, something like that. You can instance whatever you want to this, but let's do a merge and merge this with our rock. So let's just copy that node, come down here, put down an object merge, and go like this. Okay, let's give this normals so it doesn't mess it up. So now you've got this sort of like peeling effect where it's like there's something rolling around it. Now it's not super apparent with the box. I mean, go back to 0.1, but it'll look really cool when you have like plants and stuff on there, because they'll all be like unrolling around it, which is really cool. So I think for my example in my flora video, I think I just found a flower model on Megascans, or I used one from like Forester or something. But you can use whatever you want. It doesn't have to be a flower, it can be anything. But we can actually make our own flowers with this simple tree. It's not just for trees, it's literally for like flowers and stuff. So why don't we do that? So let's come up, let's turn this off, let's make a new thing. We'll just make a simple flower that we can instance across this thing. So let's do trunk maker, so STT trunk maker, and let's make the height or the length much shorter, like this. And then we'll do branch maker, STT branch maker, and that just adds some branches. Cool. But let's make this, so actually let's make the length point, let's just keep going down. Come on, lower, like that, okay? And the branch maker, let's do the length between nodes. Let's bring it way down like that. And then we'll do, it can adjust like from how far down they go. So from the parent root, you can make it go all the way to 0, and then you can make it go all the way up to the top. That's what I want. And I probably want a few more than that. Something like that maybe. And then the trunk maker, let's just keep making this trunk even shorter. So I basically want the branches to be my only thing. that shows. And the branches, let's make them, so come back to branches, let's go to length and width, branch length, keep them like this. Okay, and then I can rotate them under the rotations tab. I can change the pitch angle like this. I can go to modifiers and go to bend, and I can bend them up or down. I've got a lot of control. I can do like scale by attribute or whatever. I can change let's give it some noise. So click this on, and let's do curl noise, and let's give it some amplitude like this, and the frequency let's bring like way down. Maybe we'll do simplex. Need this to be like super small, right? Maybe maybe let's just go back to fast noise. That seemed to be good. Something like that seems pretty good. Okay, and then so we've got this. We can also come to tropism, and you can give it like gravitropism, which is where it sort of like bends down, and you can control this with a fall off. Of course, you can make it so that the stem, they're closer to the base of it, doesn't have any, and then only the tip has some. So you can go like this and bring the intensity so that it like bends downwards like that. So it's really nice. This tool is so awesome because you can build like tons of organic stuff. You can build it for trees, plants. You can make whatever you want. But just kind of giving you like a brief overview. I should probably do a tutorial at some point that's just like how to use this plugin, just because it's pretty robust, but it's fairly self-explanatory. It's very easy to just like mess around with the sliders and see what they do. Let's go back to the width tab. Let's make these a little wider, like that. Maybe. Okay, and then how do we add like a flower on top? So we'll do a leaf scatter, like this. And then what I want to do single node, which is just one leaf. And the node position, you can adjust it, like is it closer to the base or closer to the tip? And I want it exactly on the tip. And then how many leaves per node? So this would be like one leaf, 2, 3, 4, let's do like 5 leaves, maybe 3 leaves per node. And then we can use this leaf scatter to kind of figure out, to kind of use it as a base leaf, but you can also use your own custom leaves. So here you can put custom geo. So something you can do simple, I think it's just called simple leaf. You can plug that in here, and then you go to leaf scatter and you go use custom leaves. And now you can use this node here to really dial in your leaf shape here. Let's make it leaf size. Let's bring it down like this. But you could also, you don't have to use just this simple leaf. Like you could use any geo you want, really. So you could use Tommy here. So Tommy is now our leaf. So you can put in any sort of geo that you want. Oh, he's got his let's turn off the clothing. So it's this naked guy as our leaves. But you can put in whatever you want there. It's cool. So for now, let's use this here. And the simple leaf, let's go to wireframe mode, or let's turn off pack and instance so I can see what I'm doing here. And it gives you UVs and everything. It's so nice. Let's give it a leaf size like this. You can change the length, the width, and then of course you have like the profile. You can change the profile of it. You can give it more segments to give it more detail. The shape, you can have it like fold in the middle, like give it that crease. You can have it bend more like this. So get up so you can see it. Let's go like this. And then the bend profile, you can change it. So maybe like this. Maybe let's make it go the other way. I don't know, just messing around, and then maybe give it some more segments along the length, like that. That's cool. Okay, maybe a few more width segments. The point jitter, you can, give it some randomness, so you can turn that off completely. Just a little might be nice. You can, under the shape, you can course, bend it across the X like this. So let's maybe bring this down a little like that. And then under the leaf scatter, this is, you can like orient it more. So you can do, so like rotations, you can change the pitch angle. Of course, all of these things are animatable, so you can make it look like it's growing on and off. You can roll them, you can, you know, randomize whatever you want. It's really nice. So let's do leaf generation. Let's give it like 5 per node. And then I think the rotations, I think I want this to be, these to sort of orient upwards if I can. So let's figure out how I can do that. Curve normal from object. Ooh, aim up. What's that do? Oh, nice. Okay. Like rotates them all to aim up. Man, there's just so much you can do. It's great. Let's do size. Make these a little smaller. Maybe I make it smaller. Maybe I do more like this. And then the branch maker, let's come back here and let's give ourselves some more branches. And of course, you can do, the way that we're generating the branches is by edge length, but I could also just do by scatter and just say I explicitly want 36 of them, which is actually, let's just do that. That's way easier. Okay, so now I have a lot more. And let's do rotations, maybe the pitch. You can do this, you can randomize it more. Give yourself tons of whatever. It's kind of cool. Nice, maybe like that. And then simple leaf, maybe under the leaf scatter, instead of just the ends, let's, the leaf generation, let's do by edge length or by scatter. And let's do this, and then from root, let's just have it go like all the way down. So we just make ourselves a little plant, and you can do like world, so like whirls around it. You can mirror it so that it's like the same on either side of each branch. Cool. Let's just do something like this. I don't know, just making something up. Node count. Size, let's bring the size up. Okay, cool. Let's just say that that's good for now, right? Okay, so what we want to do is we've got, you can, if this were just to be our own, if we just wanted to render only this, I would probably do like pack an instance leaves, and under the leaf scatter, there's a way, well, you could basically use this, render this as an instance, and then render this branch maker as its own geo. The other thing we're going to want to do, this here is just for visualization. We're going to want to do an STT mesh, tree mesher. Okay, and then what that does is it meshes it for you. So you can change the columns. You can also go, or sorry, we want branches because we're. You can change the columns, you can change the resolution, but something else I like to do is, this is kind of low res right now, you can resample the spline, and you can go subdivision curves, and you can like make this nice and smooth. Let's get this like, there we go, a little better, right? And we probably don't need all that resolution. I gotta guess, let's just see, but it gives you nice UVs on everything. You can also do like a seams, like seams, STT seams, which is nice. And that will, if you go to do seams, so where it connects to each root, it will like automatically give you this nice little seam there, and you can adjust that to make it look more realistic. But this is going to be, we don't need that right now. This is going to be like, there's going to be like tons of these instances. You're not even going to see that. So we've got our null. Let's call this geo. And then we've got our leaf lifts. Okay, merge those. Boom. Okay, null. We'll go out plant. And of course, these don't have to be leaves. You can make them be whatever color you want. In the simple leaf, you can adjust the color. You know, let's make this like, let's make it yellow or pink like this. And then let's get rid of that. Something like that. Maybe instead of brown in the middle, we make it more like a blue. Cool. Okay, and then the stem color, you can mix these two to kind of give it, I don't know, something like that. Okay, and then of course in the trunk maker as well, or in the tree mesher, you've got color as well. So you can change this to be, you know, whatever you want. You can make it, let's make it like green at the base, make it like a, maybe like dark green, and then as it gets closer to the tip, maybe it becomes more yellow like that. And then this one is like yellow, yellow. Cool. So now you can bake those colors in and you can use them in your textures. So cool, we've got our little colorful plant with like shitty resolution on the leaf, but who the fuck cares, because this is just for the example. So let's copy this, come to our rock, hit space F, and then let's, over here, let's do an object merge. Object merge in the thing we just copied, give it, put it here, and then watch it crash. Pretty cool. All right, let's try this again. I think what the problem was is under my leaf scatter, I had pack and instance leaves on. Let's turn that off because I was like instancing an instance. And then under the simple leaf, I reduced the segments a little bit just to try to give myself a little bit less geo, because we're going to be far away from this thing and it doesn't matter. So, okay, the other thing we want to do is we want to orient this the correct way. So let's go transform, and let's make sure this is pointing in the Z direction, because I think that's what we need. Okay, let's also bring the size of this thing. Actually, it's pretty small, so that should be okay. Let's just bring it down 0.5 just in case. And then let's, hopefully this doesn't crash again. Let's see, let's try. Moment of truth. I don't know why it's still showing boxes. Oh yeah, because under my scene optimization, hit D, go to optimize. It's basically has a polygon limit. Let's just bring this up. I don't know, something like that, so you can see it a little bit more. And then under the mops randomize, there we go. So now we've got this thing. So it's pretty heavy. What I would probably suggest doing is, instead of using a copy to points node, is that we use Redshift instances for this. Copy to points node is kind of nice at the beginning just so you can have sort of a visualization of what you're doing. But I'm going to use Redshift instances. So the way that I would do that is, let's come back up here. Actually, I think I do, let's just do this, and let's do an add, because I want to retain this mops randomize thing. Let's plug this box back in. Let's do add, and let's go delete geometry but keep the points. So now we've got basically back to where we were, but just with the points, right? Okay, and then what I want to do is let's copy this. We'll put down an instance node. Oops, where'd it go? Instance. Let's delete this, put down an object merge. There we go. And then we need to make sure that we have an instance attribute on it. So let's do attribute create, attrib create. And the attribute's name is instance. It is a point. We want it to be a string attribute. And then the string that we need is flower. I want this flower here. So that will be what's instancing on there. Okay, let's try this. Let's make sure instances, let's go to Redshift OBJ, instancing should be, yeah, Redshift point clouds should work. Let's turn on our rock so we can see here. And let's just kind of position, let's put down a camera. Let's come into it here, zoom out, lock it here. I think I want to go like something like this. Cool. And then let's just put down like a RS sunlight. So we just have some kind of light in our scene here. Like this for now. Okay, and let's just fire this up and see. Hopefully that should work. And there we go. So now we've got our instances on there. Those are probably still too big. So I think what I want to do, we'll come back here. In the MOPS randomize, let's, under uniform scale, let's go like 0.2 and 1. And then let's just reset this. It's a little better. Maybe let's do 0.02 and 0.5. I don't want this, I want to actually see this thing unrolling. Yeah, there we go. It's getting a little better. Let's do 0.01 and 0.3. Cool. So now we're starting to see this like fringe here. Let's go 0.1. Let's just see what that looks like. Okay, that's too much. Let's go 0.2. Seems a little better. So now we're starting to see these like veins here. And let's make this 0.02. Maybe 0.04. Cool. So now we're starting to get some definition of where like the little veiny things are. Okay, cool. So something we can do though, now that we have this, let's move forward a bit. Let's even go farther than that. Cool, this is way better with Redshift instances. And I like the veins. I think maybe I want this to be maybe 0.3. Let's try that. 0.25. Let's do that. Okay, and then we've got our MOPS orientation randomized. Okay, great. So you can, of course, give this texture. You can use the textures that we had before, but something that's nice is that this actually comes with like a grow attribute, which you can use to color so that the tips are like a different color than the roots. You can also use the p-scale attribute. We also have our curve U attribute as well, which can be pulled into stuff like this. So let's create a texture. Let's go up, let's set a quick mark. Let's go to material, set another quick mark for 2, and let's go RS material builder. We'll just call this plant. And the things we want to bring in, let's do RS point attribute is CD. That'll pull in the color value of our plant. And then the other one we want to pull in, let's try our grow attribute. Let's see what that does. Let's start with that. And let's fire this up again. Now this doesn't have the rock. I need to go back over here, turn this on. Let's put this material on our flower. Like that. Actually, no, it doesn't need to go on there. It needs to go on the flower itself. That should be it. Let's fire that up again. That's weird. Why is it not working? Let's see. Okay, so we have the material is on there. Yeah, okay, so it's working. But the grow attribute, let's put a ramp on it. It's probably just not very apparent. There we go. So I just need to pinch this in a little bit more. So now you can change the tips to be a different color than the rest as it grows on. And I wonder if I do a change range. Let's do change range. Or can I do that with the ramp actually? I think I can. New range min. change it a little bit so there's a little bit more of a gradient, I guess, and then it's kind of nice. It's nice that these controls are here. Okay, so let's just say something like that for now. But you can use this as a mask. So let's plug in the color here. So now this gives us the color of our plants. And actually, that's weird. I think I want to, it's giving me the color of the curve U, which I don't want. I want this to be the color of the flower here, right? So maybe let's come back to our rock here. Maybe it might be overriding this. So let's delete, let's put an attribute delete here. And let's delete the color. And let's see if that works. Okay, so let's come back to our camera. Hopefully. Okay, so that seems to be working. So we've got our little flowers. Yeah, we've got the purple leaves. And I think I want these, I even want these leaves to be smaller. So let's go to our flower. And the leaf, let's just go to size. Let's bring the size down a bit. And I want to see more of the stem. Yeah, maybe let's make the length like really long. I don't know. But the nice thing is you can adjust all of this. Okay, so cool. So we've got that. Let's go back to our plant. So we've got our base color, and then we can put this into a color mix like this, and then we'll use our growth thing as the mix amount. And then let's just put a color correct. Plug this in here. Oops, shit. This, and then just change the hue. Let's hit reset here. So it should be, so now the tips are going to be like a different color than the rest. That's kind of cool. Let's do like this, I don't know. So this is only one plant though. I mean, obviously if you wanted to make this look really cool, you'd probably want to put like 3 or 4 different types of plants, kind of randomize it. Let's go back to this, and then under my mops randomize, let's do weighted randomness. Try this. I want some that are like really big, but not many. Okay, so something I think is helping, I went back to my plant and I reduced the amount of branches from like 28 down to like 6. I think it makes it, there were just too many and it really feels very uniform. So being able to see more of these leaves, I think, is really helping. Let's maybe go to the leaf scatter and let's randomize the size of the leaves a bit. Let's do like 100% randomization. And probably need to go like this. Yeah, so that helps a bit. And then the branch maker, let's randomize the length too. So make some of them like really long. Yeah, that helps. So just doing things to make things feel more organic and natural and less uniform. Let's try like 3. What does that do? Maybe too much. 2? I think 1 maybe was good. 1.5. Let's do that. That helps. Okay, and then let's rotations. Let's randomize the rotations a bit. That helps. Simple leaf. Maybe let's do maybe the leaf generation instead of the node count. Let's do less of them. I don't know. Maybe more. 370. And then the leaf, let's do width. Let's make it like a wide. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just messing around. Okay, so I just kind of played around with the leaves and making the leaves a little bit larger, smaller. I think trying to find a nice balance of like where you can see lots of stuff, but it's not like so thick that it all feels very uniform. Something else we can do, we can use it. We can also use the curve U attribute, and let's put this in a ramp as well, like this. And let's just go 0 and 1 back to the normal, and let's do another color mix. Like this, and probably have to hit reset. And so we can change this to be like, we can like layer this on top, like a yellow like this. And let's maybe invert it, and we can play around with like where this starts. So you can kind of get these like interesting multiplication colors. That's kind of cool. I like that. And then maybe we want to add some like translucency as well. So let's do, where is it? Subsurface. Let's add some subsurface scattering. And I think if we turn on thin walled, that will help. Let's change it to like this, and let's bring the scale way down. And maybe let's use a color correct node here after this and plug this into our MS color. And that should help it feel a little better. Let's maybe change the hue. I don't know. Let's try and get some interesting results. Maybe like that is a little better. Maybe like let's desaturate it just a bit. And then, I don't know, I'm just messing around here. It says without it, with it. Helps it feel a little better. And then, I don't know, I think it's starting to look kind of cool. I think really to make this thing look better, we would want to scatter a variety of different plants in here. So all you would need to do is randomize. I've shown this in previous tutorials in my Patreon here, but under the attribute create, we've got instance, and then you would just do attribute randomize. Let's pause this here so it doesn't get all fucked up. Let's instance, and then you want this to be custom discrete, and yeah, and then you can basically change this to string, and then you would basically put in, so we got our flower, oops, you copy that and come in here and just put this here, and then any other objects you create, any other models, you just put them into these other slots here, and then it'll randomize it here, and you can use the weight to do that. So, so that's basically it for this part here. I mean, it's pretty simple. I was just kind of giving you an overview of how to kind of make this unrolling effect. But play around with the settings. You can get, create more randomness, play around with copying things other than flowers. You can make it like metal or whatever objects you want. It's super, super useful. And I'm going to be making a few more of these lessons showing you what else you can kind of do with this. So right now we're like wrapping around an object. I'll show you how to fill an object with it. I'll show you how to make something similar to like the Us by Night title sequences by Simon Holmdahl. I'll show you how to do like an unrolling, like a carpet of flowers. So there's a lot of creative uses for this other than just like plants and stuff. It's just a really nice way to make a really nice way to unroll things. So highly recommend this this plugin, Simple Tree. We'll be using it a lot in the future, but I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions, and yeah, I'll see you soon in another lesson.